All right, we begin with a contentious hearing on Capitol Hill. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. spent more than 3 hours in the hot seat. He faced questioning from Democrats and Republicans alike on everything from vaccine availability to the COVID-19 pandemic.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
Senator Cantwell.
You're wrong. You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID? I don't think anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there was so many perverse incentives. And these are model studies. You don't know the answer of how many Americans died from COVID. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Pretty heated there. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand is at the White House with more on this hearing. Natalie, this was a rare moment when some Republicans actually joined Democrats in voicing concerns about Kennedy. What were the big takeaways here, and how's the president responding?
Yeah, and there was a lot of emotion and passion during this hearing, with lawmakers really pressing Kennedy. They said on behalf of parents and teachers across the country who are voicing concerns about changes to the CDC and vaccine policy. Right out of the gate, Secretary Kennedy defended the shakeup at the CDC that we saw last week, defended the firing of Director Susan Monteraz, and during questioning, he denied an account by Monteraz that she was told to pre-approve recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel newly filled with people who have publicly, some of them publicly, expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric. He was asked about that, said that was not true. But what was really notable, Michael, is during this hearing, you heard from two Republican senators who are also doctors. That's Senator Cassidy and Senator Barrasso, who's in Republican leadership. And both of them voiced serious concerns about changes to the COVID-19 vaccine. You heard Cassidy in that clip. In recounting stories about people who he says are having trouble getting the vaccine, saying that we're effectively denying people the vaccine. You heard Kennedy disagree with that. Barrasso said he's hearing concerns that other safe and proven vaccines could be in jeopardy. But then, you have some Republicans defending Kennedy, saying that he's a disruptor. We heard something similar from President Trump himself last night, asked about this during the tech dinner following it. Take a listen.
But if you look at what's going on in the world with health, and look at this country also with regard to health, I like the fact that he's different.
So the question is what happens next on Capitol Hill. That was the Senate Finance Committee. Question that I have is, will the Senate Health Committee, chaired by Senator Cassidy, hold a hearing next? He has called, Michael, for oversight.
And Natalie, I want to ask about another major headline we're following. CBS News has learned that 2 Venezuelan fighter jets flew over a U.S. Navy ship as a show of force. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the Department of Defense actually confirming the CBS News reporting in a statement, saying that this highly provocative move was designed to, quote, interfere with our counter-narco terror operations in the region. They go on to say Venezuela strongly advised not to pursue any further effort to obstruct, deter, or interfere with counter-narcotics, counter-terror operations carried out by the U.S. military. This comes amid the buildup we've seen of U.S. military vessels in the waters off of the coast of Venezuela that strike on what the administration calls a drug vessel earlier in the week. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was asked about this yesterday. Take a listen.
Let there be no doubt, Nicolas Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and he's a fugitive of American justice.
The Trump administration has argued that Maduro is aligned with drug cartels. The U.S. and a number of other countries do not recognize his presidency as legitimate due to concerns with election fraud. But tensions certainly ratcheted up. Maduro has called U.S. military warships in the area, quote, criminal and bloody threat. Michael.
All right, Natalie Brand at the White House. Thank you.